Hello friends, this is Durga again from ITversity, a one-stop shop to learn all the technologies. So as part of this video, I will cover about Spark Conf, which is nothing but Spark configuration. So before getting into the details about using Spark Conf as part of the programs, let us understand what it is all about. So when you actually set up Spark based clusters, there will be a few files typically in this location. The location can be different based upon how your administrators are managing, but the typical location will be, in this case, I am trying to connect to uh, my Hortonworks virtual machine. Even if you go to the actual cluster, it will be the same. So you need to go to, once you log in, if you have access to this location /etc/spark/conf, and if you do ls-ltr, you see bunch of files. If you are not able to access that location, it or if the files are not available in that location, you need to check with your administrators to confirm what is the actual location, or uh, and also you need to check with them whether you have access to that location. So there are two things: you need to know where these configuration files are, and also you need to have access to those things. Okay, in sandboxes or virtual machines, you will have root access, so there shouldn't be any problem. But in the actual projects, you might not have access to those to this location, etc spark conf, or they might have they might have created a different location and might have placed the configuration files over there. Here you can see there are a bunch of them. There are some files with the .template extension. You can just ignore them. Probably sometimes you will understand what are the default values by getting in there. The actual files are sparkenv.sh and sparkdefaults.conf. So these two are the files which will have the configuration level details. Sparkenv.sh will actually have the environment variables. Okay, it's nothing but a shell script which exports all the environment variables. You can see um, there are a bunch of export commands here. Okay, there are a few parameters which are commented out. Few parameters are in place. You can uncomment these things and export these things if you want to uh, override the default values for parameters such as Spark executor instances, Spark executor cores, Spark executor memory, etc. These are primarily to read in Yarn client mode. Anyway, don't worry if you don't understand these completely, but as of now, just remember that there are two files, which is sparkenv.sh and also spark defaults.conf, which actually drive the configuration of your Spark. When I say configuration of your Spark, it will actually tell or control how the Spark program should execute, or even the Spark cluster should be running. Okay, so configuration is the one which will actually try to control the state of your environment, in this case Spark. Okay, you can see several parameters. Don't worry if you don't understand these things. Eventually, as you practice more, you will be able to understand. Okay, for now, just remember that the configurations will be there in these files, and it is very important to understand these things. Okay, so that is about a brief introduction about how the configurations are controlled at the system level by using sparkenv.sh and sparkdetails.conf. So as part of cluster setup, we will have a directory which in turn will have files such as sparkenv and spark defaults. And as part of application development, first we need to create spark conf object. If you want to override any of these things, first we need to create spark conf object. There are several set and get methods to override parameter values on environment variables. So here, let me show you here. If you see, In this case, I am trying to develop the word count program itself, and if you have to run the word count program as an application, you have to create a Scala object the way we have done earlier, like simple app. You can create a package. In this case, my project name is Demo Spark Scala, and the folder name is word count, and I have word count.scala program in that. Okay, it's very straightforward. You just have to right click on this source folder and then click on new package, and the package name I have given it as word count, and then I have created this word count.scala program. And if you see here, the first thing what we are doing is we are actually creating a conf object, and the conf is of type spark conf. And while creating the spark conf object, we have actually set the app name to word count and master to local. So in this case, it will try to run in the local mode. If we have to run in the yarn client mode, we have to change it to yarn-client over here. Okay, and then we will see the rest of the stuff a little bit later. So this is how you can actually set the parameters. Let me comment these things out. Okay, now it is commented out, and actually I can read these parameters saying for all the parameters that are part of that spark conf by saying conf dot get all. It will generate all I think tuples. It will generate tuple for each of the configuration parameter, and here we can say println I. Okay, and then we can run this one, run as Scala application. You can see that it is only showing Spark master and Spark app name. These are the actual parameters which will be set when we actually pass when we actually invoke these functions such as set app name and set master. That being said, there are other parameters also which you might want to override. So there are few methods such as set, which takes the string and value. So the set app name is nothing but set with spark.master as the key and local as value. Okay, so set can be used to override any parameter. It takes both key and value as the arguments, and then on top of that, it also have something called set executor env. Okay, so if you want to override executor level environment variables, then you have to use executor env. So what are those environment variables at executor level? Typically they will be memory settings, and there are several other things which are related to the environment of the executor. Again, if you need to understand what is an executor is, when we actually submit the program, the programs will be executed by the executors themselves. So executor is nothing but a JVM, and within the JVM the tasks will be executed. So if you want to control anything with respect to that executor, you have to use this set executor env, and here also it takes two arguments, one is key and one is value. You have to pass both the key and value, and also you can actually set multiple environment variables of executors in one shot by passing an array of key and values. Okay, so set app name, set master, and set executor env are the important ones. Now you have, I hope you have some brief understanding about configuration, and this is also called as initialization of Spark. So as part of the initialization, you will be doing these things. Okay, so that being said, that's it for now. I hope you understand how you can actually create a Spark conf object and initialize your application name, and also the way the program should be executed, whether it should be executed in local mode or yarn client mode, can be done using this simple code snippet. That being said, I hope you are enjoying the content. If you have to provide the feedback or rating, please give me the correct feedback and also proper rating. If you think I am not, if you think there are any issues, please let me know. I will try to provide the solution or justification, and based upon my response and your satisfaction, you can give the rating which you think I deserve. That being said, thank you. Bye.